Fellow racing fans, welcome to the inaugural Get Hot, Stay Hot podcast, co-hosted by yours truly, Peter Rotondo Sr., along with my partner in crime, Lee Davis. We refer to ourselves as Team Rotondo, which actually was our signature name on the TV reality series Horseplayers on the Esquire Network back in 2014. Our third member, and is no doubt the adult in the room, is my son Peter Jr., who is Vice President for Media and Entertainment for the Breeders' Cup. I'm sure he'll be on as our guest on future podcasts. On today's show, we thought we'd give you a short biography of Lee and myself, and then talk about how horse racing has become an integral part of our lives. We also will discuss the unusual format for this year's Triple Crown schedule. Hope you enjoy the podcast, so without any further ado, Lee, tell the fans a little about yourself.
How you doing? I'm Lee Davis. I'm part of Team Rotondo. I was born in Brooklyn, grew up in Staten Island. I went to school at Port Richmond High School, and like any other kid, thought I was going to be a baseball player for the Mets. So I was a pitcher for 4 years at Port Richmond. I was going to college for a year at Staten Island College and realized I'm not going to make the Mets. So I decided to go to Wall Street and make some money. So I started out in foreign exchange, working for a company called Tullet in Tokyo. And then that's when I met Peter Rotondo. I interviewed at Noonan, Ashley, and Pierce. And that's how everything started as far as the love affair between Peter and I, so to speak. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Well, then tell them about what you wanted for salary, when you came in for the interview, Lee.
Yeah, so I was making about 30 or 40,000 at the time at Tullet's. And I went to Peter and sat down for the interview. I walked in the room, and it was like love at first sight. There were horse racing pictures all over the wall, and I knew right then and there this is where I want to work. Now it's just a matter of how much money I could figure out how to get out of this guy. So now we sit down, and next thing you know, an hour goes by, and I said, all right. He said, how much do you want? So I said, I want 80,000. And he looked at me and said, you got it. You start Monday. And from that time on, we've been together ever since.
And by the way, I just want to tell you that the usual salary for somebody with his experience is only $40,000. But I knew I was investing in the future, and I knew he had talent, and he became one of our better brokers in our company. So it all worked out.
So after that, we worked till about 1997 before the computers came in and took over, and the voice brokers kind of like fizzled out. And now I'm working as a trader, not a broker, for a company called FXDD. So I'm still in foreign exchange, and I do some part-time stuff, or we do some part-time stuff for the Breeders' Cup, entertaining sponsors. And that's basically it. I mean, I play horses, we go in tournaments. Just like anybody else, I love sports, and, that's about it.
Okay, beautiful. Well, I also was born in Brooklyn back in, I can't believe it, 1949. Although, when you see a picture of me, you'll never believe it, but I am telling you the truth. I attended Catholic grammar school and Catholic high school, but while I was in Catholic grammar school, it was in the 8th grade, and you had to take your tests for the what high school you wanted to go into. And one of the, I was an altar boy, and I was, pretty religious. I used to serve Mass on Sundays, and during the summers, I used to do 2-3 Masses a day. So I was really religious, and I love the Catholic religion, and I figured maybe I should become a priest. So I took the test for Cathedral High School. I got the results in. They said I passed. And I was all ready to go to Cathedral when a week before I had to make the decision, one of the girls in our 8th grade class was having a little party at their house. And I was invited. And I remember, she had the nice, she had sandwiches and punch and Coca-Colas and everything. We were all having a good time. So then they started playing some music, and the slow song came on, and she approached me and says, "Would you like to dance with me?" And I really never danced with a girl before. So I started dancing with her, and I realized after the dance, during the dance, and especially after the dance, I realized that the priesthood was not going to be my true vocation. So I went to regular high school, Severian Catholic high school, and then I went to college. I only stayed a year and a half. I went to a Kingsborough Community College, actually, and it was a little boring for me because in the summertime I had worked in a stock exchange, and there was a lot of action, and I figured that's what I really wanted to do in life, to work in the stock market. So anyway, it was in English class. It was early December when the professor, and I'll never forget, I could still see his face, and I have nightmares about this guy. He was about 6'8". He weighed about 92 pounds, soaking wet, wearing a bow tie, a big Adam's apple. And he said to the class, "Okay, for your assignment this weekend, I want you to write a letter to Santa Claus asking him what you want for Christmas." I'm like 19 years old. I'm in college. And what am I, in the third grade? I went home and I told my parents, "Mom, Dad, I'm quitting college. I'm going to go back to the stock market and work there." And they said, "Yeah, but you'll get drafted. You're protected because you're in college." I says, "I'll take my chances." A year later, I got the token in the mail. I was drafted. I spent 2 years in the Army. I did my basic training in South Carolina, went to Fort Dix, to clerk school for 10 months, and then I went to Germany for a year. I was actually a company clerk. I was like, remember the TV series MASH in the 1970s? I was like Radar, I was that type of a guy. a little nerdy, to say the least. But anyway, so that's what my schooling was. And then I went from the Army. I had my best friend, Tony Shimetta, at the time, hired me to work in foreign exchange. And that was like in September of 71, actually. And I was there till 1997. So I had a good run with the same company, 26 years, and I never regretted a day of it. It was a great experience for me, and I learned a lot. And I grew up. And after that, 1997, I retired. I was like 48 years old, and I didn't do anything for a long time until late 2006. My son called me up and he says, "Dad, I think I got a gig for you." I says, "What?" To host or co-host the horse racing show for New York City OTB. So I went in for an interview. The guy liked me, Brian Flynn, real nice guy. So I got the job, and from 2007 to 2009, I did the handicapping show called Out of the Gate for New York City OTB. I did it along with Dan Ullman, still working for the Daily Racing Form, and my late friend Kerry Photius. So we had a great time doing the show, and it was a lot of fun, and but OTB went out of business. Maybe we didn't pick enough winners, and the place went bankrupt. It's the only bookmaker in the world that went broke, and I was part of that. But anyway, so as years went by, it's now 2013 actually, and my son got a call to do this Horseplayers TV series, and myself and Lee went on with several other guys, and we did it. It was a 10-episode series, and we had a ball doing it. It was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, Esquire was a new network, and not many viewers came on. Only horse racing people got to watch it. And till today, 2020, anybody that sees us at the racetrack always brings up the show. And actually, we feel like, D-list, as my son calls us, D-list celebrities. People want to come up and selfies and take pictures and even quote some of our lines from the show. So, we take it with we really we appreciate it. We're very humble people, as you'll get to know as these podcasts continue.
Yeah.
Right, Lee?
Yeah.
We know everything about. We could write a book about humility, I think. Not. Anyway, let's talk about Lee. Let's talk about the Triple Crown this year. I
Yeah, it's crazy.
Is this a shock?
Yep, it's something I never thought we'd see in our lifetime, but it is what it is, and you got to deal with it, and you move on, and you figure it out. Whatever it is, we'll figure it. We'll be okay.
Well, this is what the deal is. Originally, the Derby was supposed to run first Saturday in May, and this year would have been May 2nd. Then the Preakness was originally going to be May 16th, 2 weeks later. And then the Belmont Stakes was supposed to be June 6th, 3 weeks from the May 16th. So in a total of 5 weeks, the 3 races for the Triple Crown should be run. Unfortunately, because of the coronavirus, schedules were thrown up in the air, and this is what the bottom line is now. We're going to have the Belmont Stakes run Saturday, June 20th at 3 p.m. Saturday, September 5th, will be the Kentucky Derby. That's going to be at 2:30.
Yeah, but the Belmont, you didn't say, is not a mile and a half. It's a mile and an
I was
eight.
going to get to that.
Oh, okay.
I was just giving you
I thought you skipped over it.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
All right.
I hate to.
But I was going to get that. That was
Sorry, you're the host. My bad.
No, that's okay. And Saturday, October 3rd at 4:30 will be the Preakness. Now, from the first leg, the Belmont Stakes, to the third leg, it's a span of 15 weeks. Just think about that. It was 5 weeks all the rest of the time, forever, and now it's going to be like a 15-week span. The Belmont, then the Derby, then the Preakness. It's amazing.
So it's obviously going to be an asterisk if there is a Triple Crown winner, because test of champions, 5 weeks, 3 races. That's the test of champions. Anything else is
Well, the reason why they're making the Belmont Stakes a mile and 8, compared with the usual mile and a half, is because of the schedule adjustments and the calendar for the horses in training.
Right.
They're not prepped to.
You can't start with a mile and a half. You kill the horses.
Right.
You got to, gradually get to
them. A lot of them have been on the show.
At least
for
they're
a while.
running it.
Yes.
That's the way I see it. They could have canceled it. It would have been a total disaster.
Right. Now, NBC will telecast the race, the Belmont Stakes, and fans will not be allowed to attend the event.
So far.
But it's probably not going to happen because it's June. It's going to be on June 20th. That's not far away.
Yeah.
We're only about a month away. This year will mark the first time that the Belmont Stakes will be the first Triple Crown race. Now, the Kentucky Derby, the 146th run for the Roses, originally scheduled to run, May 2nd, will now be, as I said, contested on the first Saturday of September 5th, and the distance will remain at 1.25 miles. So
right.
The Belmont's been cut from 1.5 miles to 1.8 miles. The Kentucky Derby will stay at 1.25 miles. And that's fine with that.
Yeah, but the horses are going to have a little bit more experience going into the Derby. Now it's September than in May, obviously. So to me, it also changes things, and it makes the horses who are kind of rounding into form, getting better as they get a little bit older, have a little bit more of a chance.
Right. And thirdly, the Preakness was originally scheduled to be run on May 16th. It's going to be contested at the distance of 1 mile and 3/16, which is the usual distance, and that's going to be run Saturday, October 3rd. Traditionally, the Preakness comes 2 weeks after the Derby, but that gap grows to 4 weeks this year. So it's going to be September 5th, the Derby, October 3rd, the Preakness. The Preakness Stakes puts it just 1 month out from the prestigious Breeders' Cup, which is scheduled for November 6th and November 7th at Keeneland.
And that's still, everything is staying so
far
far
as we know. It's going to still be at Keeneland for November 6th and 7th. So it's going to be like a month after the Preakness. So, I mean, they're getting it in order as well as could possibly.
You do the best you can. I mean, with the situation.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's what are you going to do? Not run the races? Then it's a disaster. At least they're running the races. I'm okay with that. We'll figure it out. We'll still have fun. We'll be together. We'll whip in the horses. Right. Our handicap, it doesn't change. It's still the same.
Well, let's hope that by November 6th, we could have fans at the track.
The only good thing is I might be able to pick the winner of the Belmont Stakes because I'm not a good handicap at a mile and a half. You're the king at a mile and a half. Yeah. So at a mile and an eighth, I'm now the playing field's level. Now you got competition. I could come up with the winner.
You know what it is? I try to be humble, fans, but I am
picked a lot of Belmont Stakes winners. Big prices too.
Big prices. Remember that day that when Ruler on Ice won.
Kelly Breen.
No, we were being interviewed. That right before, maybe a half hour before the race.
Oh God!
And Lee and my friend Joe Bartelli were doing it, and I picked Ruler on Ice, and Lee and Joe said.
No, let me tell you what I said. What happened was Molly was actually doing the interview,
right.
From Grand Slam Social,
right,
and. So I said, this guy's finally lost his mind. I looked at the race. Ruler on Ice. This horse has no shot. It'll be 40-1, whatever. I was going crazy. So now she's interviewing us, and I said, the guy's getting older. Sooner or later, you get old, and it's it. It's over. He picked the horse, and I go, that's it. There's no chance this horse has to win. Again, I put my foot in my mouth. Ruler on Ice won, paid a big price. I'm not sure. I don't remember, but I know
$46.
Yeah, he knows exactly, of course.
Correctly.
But we all jumped on top. Yeah, I remember we were going crazy. Everybody
went
nuts.
We won the Super Bowl or something.
Right.
I couldn't even breathe.
That was
jumping
fun.
On top of me and everything. And then, everybody loves a winner. Lee's going, you're the best, you're the best, you're the best.
Right. I was knocking him in the morning, and I was kissing his ass at night. Well, that's true, though.
I'll tell you, though. My favorite prediction.
Sarava?
No, actually, Sarava paid. It was 71. But when I was working for OTB out of the gate, and it's on. If you could go on YouTube, you can find it.
I remember.
Because I'm not making this up. And I remember handicapping the race, and what I said to the fans that day, I said, Summer Bird will be soaring like an eagle, passing the 16th pole to pick up his prey.
Yep.
So I picked the Super.
Yeah, you picked the Super.
My partner Dan Ullman had the same orders, but not in the same order that I had it in. He didn't have Summer Bird on top, but he picked him in the money. And as I'm watching Summer Bird pass the 16th pole and picking up his prey, I looked up in the sky and said, maybe I am the son of God. I mean, how could that be possible?
Let me ask you a question, though.
Go ahead.
What is it with the Belmont Stakes that you see things that your average person doesn't see? Like, I look at the form, and I even last year, you had the winner, I can't remember off the top of my head.
What's his
name?
Sir Winston.
Sir Winston. And again, I look and I just don't see what you see. And I've been a handicapping. You taught me a lot about handicap. But that mile and a half distance just throws me off. I don't know. What is it?
They just they're called grinders. Horses that just seem that they can get the distance. Because they don't have too much early speed or too much late speed. But they have enough speed where they could stay into the race and then just keep going and just grind out.
So the other horses get tired, basically the distance, and they could just,
Right. I mean, it's remarkable, and I feel I'm under a lot of pressure every year because.
Yeah, but you're so confident. You've given me Belmont Stakes winners like 5 weeks before the Belmont, after the what was it? Maybe the Peter Pan or something would come up or race, and you would say, this is the horse that's going to win the Belmont Stakes. Or even before or right after the Derby, maybe you'll say, no, this horse will win the Belmont Stakes.
When you were still working at the time, Victory Gallop, when Real Quiet won the first
Sure.
two, I was in the backyard. I call it sunshine handicapping. That's when I do my best work, in the sunshine. I can't be indoors when I'm handicapping. I like the fresh air, the sunshine, and I just see things. They just jump off the page. And I remember calling you at the office, and I said, oh, my God, Lee, I got the winner of the Belmont. Real Quiet's not going to win. Victory Gallop's going to win.
Right.
And
I remember.
You remember?
I remember. And was it that year? What was the year that you gave me Jerry Bailey had what was it? In the Preakness, you gave me the triple straight that day. You told me.
That was for Saichi Pegasus had won the Derby, I believe.
Right.
And, Jesus, how could I forget the name?
And it was Bailey was on the horse, right?
Bailey was on the horse, gave him a perfect ride. I'm 71, so sometimes I have a senior moment. I can't.
Well, whatever.
Remember the name.
My point is, there's something about those races, when you look at the form, you see, and I'm very confident I know you so long now that when you say something, if I know you really like something, then I get crazy because I'll send it in.
Right.
I'll go to a Shylock, borrow money and bet on the horse. I'm not afraid. I go borrow $5,000 and bet on the horse if you really like.
No, when I use the word I love, usually
right, and you don't use it that often.
There, yeah. Unfortunately,
and you've been right. I mean, even when you in the younger days, you made how many $3,000 win bets? 3 or 4 of them? You won every one of them.
Yeah, three or four $3,000 win bets in my life, and they all won. And yeah, and actually, I remember I had gone. Talking about foreign exchange, we used to entertain a lot of customers quite often. Well, anyway, I went to Atlantic City with this big customer from Dresden Bank. And we got buried, playing craps and roulette or whatever.
Games we don't know how to play.
I lost about $3,000. I went home and I had money in my drawer, right? And I says, "Oh my God!" I remember it was a turf race. This horse that I liked, I think it was Majesty's Prince, could have been. But anyway, I remember this horse loved the soft turf and it had rain, whatever. And at the time, OTB, you didn't see the race at the OTB. You only heard the call of the race. So I put $3,000 to win. And my friend Chris at the time was there, and he says, "You like it?" I says, "I love this horse. He can't lose." So now they're calling the race, and I hear in the fractions, and he's way in the back. I said, "Don't worry, we're in." Yeah, but he's 15 lengths off. Don't worry, we're in. I think he won by 8. I mean, it was unbelievable. And he went off at 9-5.
And you also told me a story when you had the pick 6.
Oh, yeah.
You were going to last leg of the pick 6, and you had a horse, and you loved the horse so much, you still bet $3,000 and went on him, even though you needed to win the pick 6. This is what happened.
I was with my son. He was a teenager at the time, I believe. I went to the track. I went to the bank that Friday, took out $3,500, and my goal was to bet a few hundred in the pick 6 and bet $3,000 and win on Turco Man. So, long story short, I got the first 5 races in the pick 6, and now comes the Turco Man race. And I said, "Wait a minute, what did I come here to do? I came here to bet $3,000 to win." And I knew that the pick 6 was going to pay a decent price because I don't think any favorites won.
Right. So middle tier horses, 5, 6 to 1, whatever.
So I didn't need to bet the 3 because it was going to pay a big price
saved
anyway.
The $3,000.
I bet Turco Man over Precision. It's $3,000 to win. I tell you the truth, my legs were shaking because I was nervous because I loved Turco Man. He was a big strapping horse, and I loved him. And Precision has had the lead like he usually does. He was a California horse shipping in. And Turco Man made that move on the turn and then drew off in the late stages of the race.
That must have been some whip.
I won I think the pick 6 paid, I think, 14 or 19,000, something like that.
Right.
Plus, I had the 3,000 win, and it went off.
Nice day's pay.
It was a nice day. I was so happy. You know?
We had some nice wins over the years.
Scores over the years.
Even when we worked on Wall Street, we go into your office like when there's a lull in the action, which not that often.
Right.
And you'd say, I love this. Let's bet this. We go partners. You pick the triple. We're whipping a horse in your office. Pick up 3,000. Remember that day with My Flag? I think it was My Flag. Where Boy came, I don't know if it was Boy that said it or you said it. It was like 4 to 5. We're gonna beat the 4 to 5. I thought it was My Flag, and whatever. We hit the triple 4,000. That time, the kid from what was the name? Not BMP. Style. Mark Stiles came to the office.
That was your customer.
Yeah, one of my customers. He came in. He was a customer for life after that. We hit the triple. He thought it like we had the answers to the test. How the hell do you do this? And we won 3-4. He was my customer forever. That guy. But we had some nice victories
some of the
over
greatest thrills. Again, horse race is a big part of our lives. I remember my son. I'll never forget. I had just left. 1997. I retired because we went out of business because they came up with these EBS electronic broking system, and we just couldn't. The
price was right for them to play on the EBS and not deal with us.
We couldn't compete.
Right.
So anyway, now I'm at the track at Saratoga. And my son was a handicapper. He was a good handicapper. So I was picking out some horses. And he said, all right, Dad, let's put this pick 6. I said, it's a little too pricey. Peter, I'm not working anymore. So he started to sulk a little bit. And I said, no, Pete, we're only going to do this. So we cut it down. And unfortunately, the the pick six did come in. If we kept the big ticket, 10,000. So he was really cranky. You know, he had a puss on. But we had 5 out of 6. So he had $100 for the consolation. 5 out of 6 was $100.
Oh, right.
So I says, "Yeah, go cash it in and bet whatever you want." So now, just picture the scene. We're in Saratoga, and there's puddles, muddy puddles all over the place. My mother and father's there, whatever. And he comes back, and I said, "Did you bet something for the next race?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "What is it?" He says, "It's a surprise." Well, he bets $100 triple, 1, 2, 3, say, for argument's sake. So we're watching the race on the TV, and all of a sudden, the 1 and the 2 is in front by 3 lengths. They're easily, and now the 3 horse was like third, but it goes off the picture screen, and he's getting the paper and he's hitting the TV. "Stay there for third. Stay there for third. Stay there for third." Horse comes in third. All of a sudden, he throws the form up in the air, throws his flip flops up in the air, went into onto the tree, and was running and flopping around in the mud, all around. So my mother goes to me, "I think he went crazy, son. You better get him." I said, "No, Ma, it must be something good." Meanwhile, the triple came in. He bet $100 triple straight, paid 200, 50 times 200, 10,000. Right. We got the 10,000 back a different way than the pick six.
Right. It's all about the result at the end of the day.
And it proves one thing. And again, a few years later, some guy comes over to me, "How's your crazy son?" So I said, "What do you mean crazy?" I took it to heart. I said, "What do you mean?" I thought I was gonna fight with the guy. He said, "No, I don't mean it that way. I remember that day when he threw his flip flop." And again, people remembered. It was an event. You had to be there.
Saratoga.
And I really feel sorry for people that don't know about the racetrack and don't realize the excitement and the joy you could get from going to the track. It's exhilarating. Look, you don't win all the time. Believe me, we lost many more times than we won.
That's for sure.
But those days that you win
are memories. You make memories. That's what life is all about.
And the camaraderie. And again, you feel better when your friends are winning with you.
Right.
When you're betting alone and you win alone, it's okay, but you feel much better if your friends are with you and your family with you and sharing it.
And that's what I'm going to miss this year about Saratoga, because now there's no Saratoga. I mean, they're going to run the races, but we can't go into the track and they'll do our usual thing and hang out by the Big Red Spring and with the Purple Gang. I'm going to miss that this year.
I wonder if the diner on the side,
the grilled cheese joint,
the shack.
It's got to be open.
The shack.
Yeah. It's to go, so you take everything to go. What's the difference?
And believe me, they make the best hamburgers and grilled cheese sandwiches. And by the way, they use white American cheese. That's the only way to make
not yellow. You don't like yellow.
Yeah, we don't like yellow. White American. No better place in the world than the shack right outside Saratoga.
Yeah, it's a staple in our life when we go up there.
Right.
And then what about with Bruno? How are we gonna? Bruno's going to be able to clock the horses?
Yeah,
Is he allowed to go in?
The Julia is a clocker, as you probably all know him, and he's a very good friend of ours.
Yeah, he's a good buddy of ours.
We go every morning
I'm gonna miss
and we
that
meet
too.
him, and he's clocking the horses.
We get our Dunkin' Donuts coffee. We sit there and watch him clock the race. Go over the races with him. Yeah, it's going to be tough, but we'll figure it out. Well, at least we'll be able to bet the races. We'll still be up there. We'll have a few people over. Maybe we'll do like a light barbecue as long as there's social distancing and everybody's wearing their masks and doing the right thing.
Right.
And we'll still whip in the races and maybe make some money. Who knows?
Well, let's hope everything works out and it looks like it's getting better, the situation.
Yeah, and who knows? You never know. Things change. Maybe we get lucky. And we got to win a photo once in a while. We lose 80% of our photos. What we got to do is win one good photo.
Isn't there a Darwin's law? Somebody, what's that law?
Murphy's law.
Murphy's law.
Yeah,
right, Murphy's law.
Darwin.
I don't know. Again, I haven't been in school since, whenever. But my point, listen to me.
I love this.
No, but the thing is this. You're supposed to, I'm not greedy. Let me win 50% of my photo finishes.
That's true. Let us win the big photos.
Yeah.
The little ones that don't matter, let them have it. I don't care.
When it means a pick
guy.
6 or a superfecta, and you get
something
nosed
big.
out, that hurts.
20, 30,000, something big.
That hurts.
No, I know.
All right, before we end the show today, I want to talk a little about the Triple Crown contenders this year.
Yeah.
We had the Arkansas Derby a while back.
I thought we had the winner.
Yes, but
You came out
Bob
with a bomb in that race.
Yeah, well, Bob Baffert again. They split the division this year. He had the both winners. He had Charlatan, and he had Nadal.
Nadal, yeah.
And
they ran good.
They ran
good.
They did
but I think the track helped them a little bit. I think there's, I don't know. I'm not anointing them champion or anything of the Derby yet.
No, but they go by the points, right? So
yeah, they go by the points.
Nadal's got 150. Tiz the Law, who's
Barclay
tag,
nice horse.
And the connections. Our friend Jack Knowlton,
right?
Sagatoka Stable,
another New York bred.
And we'd love to see Tiz the Law win because we're friends with Jack, and they're just a class act.
As long as we win money too. I love Jack, but I want to win some money. You know what I mean?
We got to win some money too. Yeah, that's true. But he's got 122 points, so he'll definitely be in.
Yeah.
And the horse that we liked in the Arkansas Derby.
He's number 20. He's at the bottom, right?
Number 20. He's
Finnick the Fierce.
Finnick the Fierce. Ray Hernandez. Sounds like a Met player,
you're right.
A Mets, outfielder or something. Ray Hernandez,
Yeah, you're right.
But he's the trainer, and hopefully he can get in, and we'll get the money with him.
Yeah, well, we'll see. But how many other races? Do you know off the top of your head what other races are going to be for points?
I looked up. There's not any.
Are they going to run something at Saratoga or
no? But
something?
there's not that many preps for. I mean, obviously there's no preps for the Belmont Stakes this year because they're opening June 3rd. I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so June 20th is the Belmont Stakes.
Belmont Stakes, yeah.
And at 1 1/8, and as Joey had said to you the other day, it's like the Belmont Stakes is going to be like the Peter Pan, which was always the big prep before the Belmont Stakes.
Right.
And it was run at 1 1/8. So the Belmont Stakes, in effect, is going to be the Peter Pan,
Right.
But it'll still be part of the Triple Crown, and,
That's what I'm saying. I don't know what other preps are they going to have. Is the Travis going to be a prep for the Derby? Like, do you need points? You got to win the Travis to get into the Derby? I mean, what are they doing?
I really don't know the schedule.
I know. We got to find that out.
We got to find that out.
We'll find that out
and
for the next podcast.
You'll know. You'll hear it first on the podcast.
Yeah.
Or maybe if people that listening to this podcast could tell us.
Yeah, we'll have without a doubt.
One thing about us,
they could tweet us.
Right. One thing about us, we're no big shots. We're regular guys.
That's it.
You know more than we do. We know more than you. Whatever
I don't
it is.
care. Tell me.
At the end of the day, we're trying to pick the winner.
Right. We're trying to make money. I don't care who picks the winner. I love handicapping, but if you give me 2-3 and I bet a $50 box and it comes back 5,000, I'm the happiest guy in the world. I'll follow you forever. You got a friend for life. But, all right, so that was our first podcast. And,
this is our first run at doing a podcast. I hope you enjoyed it.
We'll get better.
As you can tell, we're not the most mature individuals in the world, but that's what makes us 2/3 of Team Rotondo anyway.
Right.
All right, so take care. Hope to see you soon.